also a kind of a orientation class for you to align with the batch. So see, quickly, I'm not going to, like, we'll not be discussing everything, but quickly to give you the context, we have started with the third chapter, which is the reproduction in humans. And in that, I have started with the first thing, which is the male reproductive system. Okay. And to begin with it, basically, there are some just basic things. So I would like that you go back after today's class and read from your NCERT this part, whatever we will be doing till the point that we will finish in today's class. Just read it from NCERT. Okay. And
Sure.
if you find any difficulty, you can come back and we'll discuss that, and it will get sorted. And regarding the topics which you have missed, there'll be backup classes which I will talk to you about, and we'll fix it from the coming week onwards. Okay, in the next week. Okay,
Alright,
Nashad?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So see, reproduction in humans, we started with some basic concepts like what is viviparous, heterogametic, all these things you will find in NCERT. So just please go back and read, especially about puberty. You must be knowing what is puberty, and when puberty hits a male or a female human reaches sexual maturity, we discussed that. But the thing that we will start today, more importantly, is all this thing I'll cover in backup class with you. Okay, don't worry about that. In male reproductive system, we were discussing how it works, or how the male reproductive system is controlled. Okay, suppose that you know what is a male reproductive system. Not to suppose, you are a male, you know what is a male reproductive system. So how it works is actually the biological core of it. Okay. You were having biology in class 11th, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, perfect. So you have already studied biology for like 3 years, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yes, sir.
9th, 10th, it's a compulsory part. In 11th, you chose biology. Perfect. So you must be knowing about hormones. How was your biology? How did you like that subject in class 11th?
So basically, it was for online, so I haven't, studied much. I
I
depended on
understand.
Google and stuff.
Okay, so there'll be certain concepts that we will need to discuss. Okay, and so today you study with me spermatogenesis. Okay, Naushad, and we'll try to figure out the best thing for you that can be done. Okay, to cover everything. So from class 11th, you must be knowing, even from like something that you Googled and studied, that our body is controlled by hormones, right? Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
So the reproductive system is also controlled and regulated by hormones. So there are 2 hormones specifically. So this is the last class recap I'm giving. So 2 hormones called FSH and LH, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, are released from the pituitary gland of the brain. Okay. So inside the brain, there is a hypothalamus and there is a pituitary gland. So hypothalamus controls pituitary gland, and pituitary gland releases FSH and LH. Now FSH and LH both go to testes and ovaries, and FSH plays a role in spermatogenesis. Now for Naushad and for others, like for Naushad specifically, it's his first class, that there are many words in biology, Naushad. If you can understand the word, I think 20 to 30% of your difficulty is gone. For example, spermatogenesis. So the word spermato clearly means it is talking about sperm, right? The word genesis means, what does the word genesis means, Minashi?
The formation.
Formation. So what does the word spermatogenesis means, Naushad?
Sperm formation.
Sperm formation. Perfect. So FSH is necessary for sperm formation. Okay. So when FSH is released from brain, when we reach puberty, when males reach puberty, this hormone goes to the testes and tell the testes that start forming sperms. Okay. And LH, which is the luteinizing hormone, it also goes to the testes and tells the testes to start the production of testosterone. Now testosterone is the main hormone, male hormone, male sex hormone produced by the testes. Other 2 are produced by brain. Is it clear? And testosterone brings about all the changes in the secondary sexual characters which happens in puberty. For example, At puberty, let me make it a little smaller. Okay. So in puberty, when puberty reaches, we see facial hairs growth in males. Adam's apple, which is the larynx, the voice box, it is very evident and visible. The voice becomes more coarse and low pitched. Muscle development starts in males, leading to muscle mass and strength gain, right? Bone mass or bone density increases. Growth of pubic hairs. Now there are two types of hairs in a human body, okay? Pay attention to this, Mashad. One is related to reproductive changes, and those are the pubic hairs, beard, mustache, and all these hairs. Whereas other hairs like eyebrows, hair on your head, scalp, or on arms, they are not related directly to the sexual changes, okay? They are present from, like, they grow even before puberty. Fat distribution starts effectively during puberty, and sexual drive or the heat period, because of the hormones, it starts, okay? Now we also discussed about the structure, the organs. So there are primary reproductive organs or structures. So the primary reproductive structure is testis, and the secondary reproductive structure is penis. Now we studied about the secondary first. The secondary reproductive structure is penis. It's a muscular organ which has three parts: the root, the shaft, and the head, which is known as the glans. Okay, and the details of it again I'll cover with you in a backup class. But just know that the important thing about the shaft is that it has erectile tissue. These tissues are called corpus spongiosum, and these tissues help in the erection of that organ when blood flows inside that organ. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And glans is basically the head, which is covered with foreskin, which is removed in a procedure called circumcision. Okay, and the glans, which is the head part, has very sensitive nerve endings. Okay, so this is the major outline of this. And then we ventured into understanding the formation of gametes, like spermatogenesis, where I told that first look at this, to give a recap, look at this diagram here. So to begin with, there are primordial germ cell, okay, which mitotically divide to give rise to the first cell, which is committed, right, to the cause of becoming a sperm, is the primary spermatocyte, which is a diploid cell. So you remember the concept of diploid and haploid, Ashad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I would like that you go back and revise certain concepts, which I am telling you right now. Okay, you will read NCERT and things will get revised up, brushed up, basically. Then primary spermatocyte is the first cell in which meiosis happens, and after meiotic 1, secondary spermatocyte is formed. And for others also, do you remember we did all of this in the last class? If anyone has any problem, please ask. Minashi? Clear, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then after meiotic division 2, we make spermatids, and spermatids are the cells without tail, like they are not actually fully mature sperms. And mature sperms are made inside this seminiferous tubule. So if you look at this structure, this is testis. Inside the testis, one testis, there are many tubules called seminiferous tubules, in which the sperms are formed. Okay. So in today's class, basically what we will be doing is I'll be dictating you everything that you need to know and write in boards or in entrances about the spermatogenesis. Okay, so who would like to tell me? Okay, I gave you some homework also, I see. Okay. Okay, Acrosome. So I'll go to Mazia. Mazia, can you speak now? Oh, Mazia could speak. Like Mamuna had problem with the mic. Mazia,
Yes,
can you
sir.
speak? Yes. So okay, would you like to tell me what was acrosome? Remember acrosome on sperm? Acrosome, do you remember it? It is the cap-like structure at the head of the sperm, okay, that contains many enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes, to break down the first few layers of the ovum. Remember? Macrogamete, microgamete, things like that. And one of that major enzyme is hyaluronidase. Yes. Saifullah is also. Saifullah, welcome. How are you? Am I audible to you, Saifullah? Because you are not audible to me if you're speaking. Check your voice.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Yes.
Yes. So do you remember acrosome? We studied acrosome.
Yes.
Yes. Can you just take me through till here, from acrosome till here? So acrosome contains hydrolytic enzymes like hyaluronidase, which helps in breaking down the first few layers of the ovum. Now I ask you as a homework, why two sperms are not allowed to enter one ovum during fertilization? Anyone figured out the answer or has any idea what could be the reason? I told you that when one sperm enters the ovum, other sperms cannot enter the ovum. Remember?
Yes.
Why? What happens if two sperms are allowed to enter? What do you think? Okay, even if you have not figured out the answer on internet, what do you think? What do you think, Saifullah? What will happen?
Like there be 3 sets of chromosomes.
Right, the ploidy will get altered, no?
Yes.
We need a diploid zygote, but now we will have more than what is required of the ploidy. So will that zygote and embryo survive properly? No, right? Okay. So in today's class, let's start with the ducts. So we have studied about the testes. Write down few things important about testes. Write down ducts of testis. So this part is for entrances. More importantly, ducts of testis. So the first thing, if you remember the structure of testis above, see here. So you see lots of ducts are there, but the first one, when we enter the testes, it is the epididymis, right? Remember this structure, this crescent shaped structure here, this one. Is the cursor visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
This part is called epididymis. So write down. The Sertoli cells, remember the Sertoli cells, everyone? Look here, these one, the randomly scattered bigger cells. They are randomly scattered and they are big cells. And what is their purpose? They provide, yes, assistance and nutrition to the developing sperm, right? So write down, Sertoli cells pushes the sperm fluid. Sertoli cells pushes the sperm fluid. And remember, I also told you that like till the time the sperms are not properly mature with the tail so that they can move themselves, these Sertoli cells helps in their movement from the boundary of the tube seminiferous tubule to the lumen. Remember? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So Sertoli cells pushes the sperm fluid along the lumen, of seminiferous tubules. What is lumen? We will keep revising these things. Yes, please, Minashi, what is it?
The whole structure.
Yes, the hollow structure at the center. Okay, like a tube, like a pipe. So it pushes the sperm fluid along the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. From the lumen, from the seminiferous tubule, it reaches into a network of ducts. So write down. Second point. This sperm fluid. Now, if I'm calling it a sperm fluid, it's clear that it contains sperm, right? So this sperm fluid reaches into a network of ducts. So from seminiferous tubules, it reaches into a network of ducts. Can anyone tell me what was the name of that network? Here.
Vasa Efferentia.
No. See, we are going out from inside to out. So from seminiferous, first it will go into this network. Can you see this? This network, which I have also marked. What is it marked as?
Rete testis.
Rete testis. Okay. So write down. It enters or it leads to a network of ducts known as rete testis. Rete testis. So this is also the sequence that we are preparing. So in entrances, sometimes they write that sequence and you have to choose the right sequence, correct sequence. So seminiferous tubules, then rete testis. From the rete testis, then they move into, now you can use the term. From rete testis, sperm move into a series of coiled ducts called Vasa Efferentia, or they're also called efferent ducts. Efferent ducts or Vasa Efferentia. Okay. I think it was Cephala, right? Yes. You used Vasa Efferentia first, right? You understand? First it is rete testis.
Yes, sir.
And then it is Vasa Efferentia. In some books, they write Vasa Efferentia as efferent duct. Okay. So I'm keeping this picture only when I'm dictating you so that you keep on understanding what I'm saying. So when sperms are in the seminiferous tubules, these Sertoli cells bring them from the wall towards the lumen, and also into the lumen they push, because they can move now, but they are not very. Remember I told you in the epididymis they get all their final touch up as maturation, their speed and everything, right? The practice, the training happens in epididymis. Here just the production is happening. So they are pushed into rete testis, then they move into Vasa Efferentia. Write down. Next point. From here, they are emptied into. So all of them, whatever sperms are made that day from all the seminiferous tubules combined, comes into rete testis, then they go into Vasa Efferentia, and all of them are emptied into a single tube called Ductus Epididymis. So there is this one single tube running here where I'm making this blue thing. Okay. Can you see this blue marking? Everyone, is visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You can write this as, no, not spermatogenesis. Sorry. This is, write down, Ductus Epididymis. Duct of Epididymis. Duct of Epididymis. Now the epididymis has write down about epididymis. Next point. Next topic, epididymis. We will write few things about it which has been asked. Epididymis is responsible for, or epididymis is the site of, just write it in the same language the question has come. Epididymis is the site of sperm maturation. Sperm maturation. Okay. And write down here the sperms acquire their motility. Motility is, what does the word motility means? People, motility, what does motility means?
Movement.
Yes, that like movement, vigorous movement on their own using energy. Okay, so acquires motility and the ability to fertilize a ovum, and the ability to fertilize an ovum. Now there was one question which I would like to discuss here. The question was, if we take a mature sperm from seminiferous tubule, like I put a micro injection and took out a sperm, a mature tailed sperm from the seminiferous tubule, it will still not be able to, and there'll be 4 options. One of the options will be fertilize an ovum. So will it be able to fertilize an ovum if I'm taking it directly from seminiferous tubules?
No.
No, because it has not went through epididymis and that proper course of acquiring maturity and ability, right? So it is a sperm. It can show some kind of a movement, not very much though, but movement will not be a problem. See, when we are doing in vitro fertilization, remember in last class I told you about IVF, where we take a sperm in a micro needle like this. So we keep a ovum and we keep it in place with the help of a glass tube, a glass pipette. Okay, so this glass pipette has small amount of suction, so it keeps the ovum in place. Do you understand, everyone?
Yes.
Then we bring a micro syringe, okay, and we poke this ovum and we leave the sperm inside. Do you understand? Basically, we need the nucleus of the sperm. So we can also take the nucleus and put it inside. And fertilization happened. So this is called in vitro fertilization. Okay?
Sir,
Yes, please.
if only one sperm is allowed inside an ovum, then how are the twins formed?
Yes, exactly. That is what we will discuss after this. Very interesting, no? Twins. You know, there are twins are also of 2 types, identical and non-identical.
Yes.
Some twins look exactly the same, but there are also twins. Sometimes a boy and a girl can also be twins, which looks very different and are different in genders as well, right? But are born together. So we will come to twins later on. Good question. But can you keep it for some time with you, the question?
Yes.
Okay. Now the question which I was discussing is from entrance, which asks that a so they will, you know, they make the questions difficult by just putting things which you will not pay attention to. So they will write a 2-3 line of story that a couple was not able to conceive a child, so they went to IVF. So a sperm was taken from the seminiferous tubules and was used to fertilize or was used to fertilize the ovum, but not injected. It was not injected, but it still failed. But you understand now why it failed? Because a sperm that is taken directly from the seminiferous tubule will not have the ability or the maturity to fertilize an ovum properly, right? Yes or no? Do you understand, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So write down. The sperm maturation in epididymis. This is another question. Sperm maturation in epididymis takes about 2 weeks. So sperm maturation in epididymis occurs in 2 weeks. 2 weeks means how many days?
14.
Yes. This was the question. If I ask for how longer sperm stays in epididymis, again the answer is 14 days. Okay. So every batch that enters the epididymis spends around 14 days in the epididymis, then move out from the epididymis and reach where? So when they will move from epididymis, they will reach where? Yes, let's see here. So they reached epididymis, they spent 14 days and they became mature. Now where they will go?
Vas deferens?
Yes, vas deferens. So write down vas deferens. Now what is the function of vas deferens? Vas deferens stores the sperm, okay, till the time it is not called for. So it's like epididymis. Okay, let me be on the figure only. So here, after the sperms are mature, they reach this thing. Now this is less coiled than these tubes, which is vas deferens, is less coiled. Now sperms are just waiting there, just like waiting for the order or the signaling for ejaculation. So they stay in the vas deferens for till the sexual arousal does not happen. So write down. Vas deferens is less convoluted. Vas deferens is less convoluted than Vasa Efferentia or efferent ducts. So vas deferens is less convoluted than Vasa Efferentia. Okay. And it conveys sperms, or it transfers the sperms. Vas deferens transfers the sperms during sexual arousal. During sexual arousal from the epididymis towards the urethra. Okay.
Sir, can you repeat from convey the sperms?
Yes. Vas deferens conveys the sperms or transfers the sperms. You can use any word. Okay. It means the same. Conveys or transfers the sperm during sexual arousal. During sexual arousal from the epididymis towards the urethra. Towards the urethra. Now, how will it transfer the sperms? Any duct or any tube, if it has to, so if it just allows sperms to move, now go and move wherever you want, then it cannot keep it stored, no? So when they were inside the vas deferens and inside the epididymis, though they have got the motility, but were they moving and moving out? If this was the case, then sperms will always keep moving out from the urethra, right? Yes or no? But this does not happen. Sperms are only allowed to come out from the vas deferens when there is a urge of ejaculation or the male is under sexual drive. Remember sexual drive we studied in the last class? The strongest of the behavioral urges?
Yes.
Even stronger than hunger? Yes. And I told you that then when this ejaculation urge occurs, even the micturition stops, right? Like the urge to urinate has to stop. Remember, because the passage is common. It's just like when the more important or more energy driven thing is happening, you would not like acidic waste substance to just ruin the whole process, correct? Because if urine gets mixed with sperm, then what will happen? What will happen if urine gets mixed with sperm? People, simple, quickly. What is the pH of urine? The pH of urine?
4.6 to 8.
Yes, it is acidic, right?
Yes.
Yes, no, not neutralization, Mazia. The sperms will die. Because urine, it will bring in acidic content and the sperms will start dying. So the sperms in which a human spent so much of energy producing, you know, it is so much energy taking a process. A lot of divisions are happening. Look here. And then you would not like it to just die because of urine contact, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So when ejaculatory urge begins, the micturition stops. Okay. But my question was that sperms are not actively moving and moving out of this tube on their own. So this vas deferens is holding them up and is deciding when to release them. So any duct, when it has to move things in one direction, how does it do? Let me give you an example of intestines. How do your intestines transfer or move food? Remember one term used, and the term is peristaltic movement. Anyone has heard of peristaltic movement? Of course, you must have heard of
Yes.
peristaltic movement in class 11. Yes, what is peristaltic movement? Namna?
It's a hollow organ which contains a layer of muscles, I think.
Yes, so ducts are always muscular. There is no bone. But what is a peristaltic movement? It's a repetitive movement of contraction and relaxation. Okay. So imagine, I can demonstrate you, but I do not have a hollow pipe here. But let's take pen as an example. Imagine this is a hollow tube, okay, everyone? And at this point, there is some substances at this point. Now, if the tube just behind that will just contract and the tube just ahead of that substance will just relax, then the substance will move forward. It's like something gets, if something gets stuck, suppose a bead gets stuck in a rubber pipe, how will you take it out? If you'll push from the back, it will keep moving forward, right?
Yes.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So you keep contracting that tube from the back and you keep pushing the bead out. This is exactly what peristaltic movement is. It happens on its own. It is an involuntary movement. So write down vas deferens transfers the sperms through vas deferens transfers the sperms through peristaltic contractions. Peristaltic. The word here is, let me write it. Peristaltic contractions. Takes place in Okay. Now, once the sperms are out from the vas deferens, they reach where? Let's go up again. Let's go more up. Yes. So this is vas deferens. Once they come out of vas deferens, they start reaching the urethra, right? Or the spermatic cord. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, so write down. See, till this point, till vas deferens, all the things, but like till this point, it is present in a scrotal sac, right? Remember I told you about scrotum? Where is it? Yes, see here, scrotum, right? Now today I'm telling you one thing. This scrotum, which is a bag-like structure, which holds the testes, and I told you already why it holds the testes outside the body. Why, Mazia? Why sperms are located outside the body? Quick, you know the answer by now. Oh, Mazia cannot speak or what? Minashi?
Because of the temperature.
Why are the sperms located, why are the testes located outside the abdominal cavity into the scrotal sac?
Because sperms can be produced only at lower temperature.
Hello, am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Was I not audible or what? I just logged out.
No, you asked the last question and you like it.
Okay, let me share it again. So is it odd? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, so I was asking Mamuna that why are testes located in scrotal sac outside the abdominal cavity, abdominal body?
Because the temperature of the testes needs to be cooler than the body temperature.
Yes, 2 to 4 degrees lower for spermatogenesis to happen effectively. Okay, but there is a brilliant biology, physiology working behind it. So this scrotum is not just something detached from the body altogether. It's not like body cannot control where the scrotum is. So the scrotum is connected with the body wall by a series of muscles known as, I'm marking it here. You also mark it. It's called cremaster muscles. Cremaster muscles. And write down there only in cremaster muscles. Cremaster muscles connects the scrotal sac with the abdominal wall. And muscles can contract and relax, right? Yes?
Yes.
So these muscles can also contract and relax. So during the summers, cremaster muscles relax, and the distance between the scrotal sac and the abdominal wall increases, because during the summers our body is heated up, right? And the testes do not need more heat, so they tends to stay away, like as far away as they can go from the body wall. But during the winters, the outside temperature is very low, so they can also not be produced in very low temperatures. So during winters, the cremaster muscles contract and brings the scrotal sac closer to the body wall. Do you understand? This is how the temperature regulation of the scrotal sac takes place. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
So write down this question. It is a board's question. How does cremaster muscles play a role in temperature regulation of the testis? How does cremaster muscles play a role in temperature regulation of testis? So write down. During summers, or again also during when the body has fever, right? When the body is feverish, what will the cremaster muscles like to do? Contract or relax?
Relax.
Yes, to go away from the main body, right? As much as they can. So write down, during summers when the body temperature is high, the cremaster muscles relax and take the scrotal sac further away from the body wall. And take the scrotal sac further away from the body wall. And during cold temperatures, or during winters, or in cold temperature, the cremaster muscles bring the scrotal sac closer to the body wall. They contract and bring the scrotal sac closer to the body wall. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, so the one question is prepared. Now write down accessory glands. So we have to study about the glands which come. So after it is out of the scrotal sac, after it is out of the vas deferens, we start with these glands. Remember? Yes, these one. First is the seminal vesicle. Second is prostate, then bulbourethral glands, right? And they together make the semen, seminal fluid. Yes, so write down. I'll dictate you about. Ducts is clear to everyone. Finally, it reaches the urethra. Now write down accessory glands. Why they are called accessory glands? Because the major gland is the testes, right? It secretes. So, accessory glands of male reproductive system. First one, we'll go like in order. The first one is seminal vesicles. Now, as the name suggests, write down, they are present in a pair. So seminal vesicles are in a pair. There are two present in a pair. Posterior to the urinary bladder. Posterior, you know, anterior, posterior to the urinary bladder. Yes. Can anyone tell me what is anterior, what is posterior? Let's go up, look here. So these are seminal vesicles made, but I think it's more, yes. See, this is the urinary bladder. Yes.
Yes.
And the seminal vesicle is present behind, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So in this diagram, it is just shown like this. So they have shown it. Otherwise, it will, if you make a urinary bladder, you will not be able to see it from the front. They are towards the, so anterior is towards the front and posterior is towards the back, right? Anterior, posterior, remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So presents there, it's present in the posterior. And each gland, each of the seminal vesicle, each gland has a short duct. Small duct is present. Each gland has a short duct that joins with the vas deferens. That joins with the vas deferens So this is important. Each seminal vesicle, a question was asked on this. Each seminal vesicle has a small duct of itself that joins with vas deferens to form ejaculatory duct. To form ejaculatory duct. Now, this is the name. The name ejaculatory duct comes because the urge to ejaculate during a sexual reproduction act, if sperms reach this duct, there is no point of return now. It cannot be controlled or it cannot be undone. Ejaculation will happen. Okay, do you understand? So all the control is till the point the sperms are in vas deferens. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now write down. The secretion of seminal vesicles. So what does it produce? So I'm calling it fluid of seminal vesicle. Write down. It secretes a viscous fluid which contains fructose. It contains a viscous. What does the word viscous means? Dense, like honey is viscous, right? Viscous fluid containing fructose. Now, why does it contain fructose? Anyone? Quickly. Why does this contain fructose? Saifullah? Remember why it contains fructose?
So can I see?
Sorry?
Can I see?
Yes, please, please.
Since fructose is primary source of energy, so it helps for the sperms with the ejaculation.
Yes, fructose is primary source of energy for sperms, not for other tissues. So when you're saying this, you have to be clear. Remember I told you all our other cells of the body rely on glucose? Yes? Remember?
Yeah.
Whereas sperms utilize fructose as their primary source. So that's why it contains fructose. Write down. In the bracket, you can write down energy source for sperms. Viscous fluid containing fructose. In bracket, write down energy source for sperms. Okay. Next point. Apart from this viscous fluid which contains fructose, it also contains prostaglandins. Now remember these terms just because they are asked. So it contains fructose, which is an energy source. It contains prostaglandins. Now what do prostaglandins do? Write down. It contributes to the motility and viability. So prostaglandin is important for motility and viability. What does viability means? Something is viable. The seed is viable. What does it means? That it can perform the function for which it was made, right?
Yes.
So if a sperm is too old, or if a sperm is produced in a very, very old person's body, then the quality of that sperm is not very much. So it is less viable. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. So first thing, it contains fructose. Second, prostaglandins. Write down. Third is it contains proteins. Certain proteins. Why does it contain proteins? Anyone? Any idea? Proteins. Write down. These proteins cause slight coagulation. SLIGHT. Slight coagulation. What does the word coagulation means? Coagulation means when it starts getting like clotting, it starts making a lump, a clump. So like blood, when it comes out of the body, anyone has seen a drop of blood? When you take it out of the body, it just coagulates, right? It is liquid inside the body, but outside the body it coagulates.
Yes.
We call it clotting. Blood clots outside the body. So similarly, these proteins which are present in the seminal vesicle, they helps in slight coagulation reaction in the semen. So this is a protective way. See, ultimately, where does this semen along with the sperm has to go? Into the male reproductive tract or into the female reproductive tract? Yes?
Yes.
And inside the female reproductive tract, all the environment which is inside the female reproductive tract is hostile. It is acidic. So these sperms have to show that they are the best ones which can survive. So it is like the survival of the fittest, selection of the fittest. So this jelly-like coagulation protects the sperms, at least which are inside. So it is just a biological mechanism. See, if it is a liquid, okay, and inside a liquid there are many things floating, but anything which wants to enter a liquid can very easily enter a liquid, right? If it is not very viscous, right? But on the other hand, if there is slight coagulation, like it starts clotting, so it will start clotting from all sides. You understand? So it will now move like a semi-fluid. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
It is like a half clotted blood. And then whatever things are attacking from the outside, at least some sperms towards the middle will be protected from all the attacks, right? Those which are at the end will keep dying, but those which can swim towards the center can protect themselves, right? Yes or no? So it's like you are moving in a kind of a shield. Do you understand? Coagulation through these proteins protects the sperm when it is moving inside the female reproductive tract. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Do you understand? Do you understand the concept? Okay. So these are the three things that are present in seminal vesicle. Which is the next structure? Next structure after seminal vesicle. Look and tell me. You have to tell me. You will give me the answer. Quickly. Seminal vesicle, then
Prostate gland.
Yes, perfect. Prostate. Okay. Prostate glands. Prostate is a gland. Write down. It is one. It is just, it's not in pair. So write down. It is a single gland located. It's a single gland located just below the urinary bladder. Just below. the urinary bladder. And since we are talking about prostate gland, just know one thing. It is not related to reproductive chapter, but the cancers, prostate gland cancers are very prevalent in men. At least, in fact, the most common type of cancer in a male after blood cancer is prostate gland cancer. Okay, you can write it down somewhere. Prostate cancer is one of the most prevalent form of cancer in males. You know which is the most prevalent form of cancer in females?
Breast cancer.
Yes, it's breast cancer. Write down about prostate glands. Secretions, what does this secrete? So about every gland we have to know its location and if something is important or interesting about it, on which question has been asked. But more importantly, the secretion. What does it secretes? So prostate gland secretes a thin milky colored alkaline fluid. Okay, so this term is important here. So this is where the alkalinity or the basicity in a semen comes from. Okay, see, seminal fluid produced fructose, which is a sugar, prostaglandins, which are important for motility and viability, and proteins, which will help in slight coagulation of the semen after ejaculation. Okay, then prostate glands, which is after seminal vesicles, secretes thin milky colored alkaline fluid that gets mixed with the seminal vesicles fluid. So as it is coming down, the fluid is getting mixed with other glands fluid, right? So it is like at every stage something is added into that semen. Is it clear, everyone? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So thin milky colored alkaline fluid. So, and write down the function of this fluid. The function of this fluid is to provide basicity to the semen, provides basicity to semen, and enhance sperm motility. And enhance sperm motility. Yes. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. I think I lost the connection for a while. I was out, right? I was out of the meeting, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was asking what was the third? What is the third set of glands? Prostate. After prostate, what comes? Quick, go look at the books or tell me. So you have to know the names. Seminal vesicle, prostate, and the last is bulbourethral. The name suggests a lot of things about this gland itself. Bulbourethral. So it has a name called bulb. So it's like a small bulb. Let's go up and see if the name justifies the structure. Yes, here. Can you see the bulbourethral glands here? They're like two small nodes or bulbs.
Yes.
Right? And it is present at the beginning of urethra. Okay. So it tells about the shape and the location of the gland. It's called bulbourethral gland. Is it clear? Okay, now write down about this. It is bulbourethral glands. They are present one pair, like a pair, which means two glands present as a pair. And there is another name. They are also known as, in some books, they are referred as Cowper's gland. Cowpers. Cowper's gland. So write down. They are located near. They are located near the base of penis. Basically, from where urethra starts, it is the base of the penis, right? So it's located at the base of the penis, or you can write beginning of urethra. Beginning of urethra. Now, what do you think bulbourethral gland must be doing? Now, let's come back to the Yes, I'm back. Hello, am I audible, everyone?
Yes.
There is some issue going on. This just happened, started right now. Okay, anyways. You all can see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Yes. Now look at this. So this is where the bulbourethral glands are present, just where the urinary bladder ends and the urethra starts. And I told you that urethra is the common passage for both urine and sperms, right? So what do you think bulbourethral gland must be doing? Because, yes, Mamuna, please.
It helps in the lubrication of the penis.
Yes, that is one thing. But you know, before that, it also has one very important function. So micturition happens multiple times a day. The urge to urinate and the passage of urine, we excrete waste from kidneys multiple times a day, right? Through urine. So normally this urethra is acidic, right? The lining is acidic. So upon sexual arousal, when this urge of or the sexual desire kicks in, the first signal goes to this bulbourethral gland, and it starts secreting alkaline secretions to line this whole urethra and make it alkaline from acidic. It is just preparing the path, and while it is preparing it is also lubricating the path. Is it clear? Lubrication helps in easy passage. Okay, nothing gets stuck.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. So this is just a very beautiful duct related biology. So write down the bulbourethral glands secrete. So to make something basic, it has to secrete alkaline, right? But what should be the nature of the fluid if it also has to lubricate? What is the one type of not chemical but substance that lubricates all our passages, all our ducts? Nose, mouth, food pipe, intestines, everything is layered with what? Our food pipe has lubrication or not? Yes, Mazia, correct. Mazia is saying mucus. All our internal ducts and tubes are lubricated or layered with mucus. From our nose, nasal cavity, because nasal cavity goes and meets the buccal cavity at pharynx, and then the food pipe, stomach, intestine, everything is layered with mucus. So bulbourethral glands also secretes two kind of things. One should be acidic alkaline fluid, and second should be mucus. So write down. It secretes an alkaline mucus-like fluid. Alkaline mucus-like fluid, so that it serves both the purpose. Yes, if it is alkaline, it will make the passage ready, favorable in terms of pH, and if it has mucus, it will also lubricate the passage, right, Mamuna?
Yes.
So if you see, every gland has one thing which is not common. Most all the glands has one thing which is common, that all the gland secretion are alkaline, right? Bulbourethral gland, alkaline. Prostate gland, alkaline. And seminal vesicles are also alkaline in nature. They're more towards like a neutral alkaline, but they are also slightly alkaline. But what is unique about each? Seminal vesicle secretes fructose and prostaglandins. Prostate gland secretes what?
Alkaline.
Milky colored alkaline. Milky colored. The color here is important to enhance sperm motility. And bulbourethral gland secretes mucus. Okay. So these are the important things that you have to remember. So write down. It secretes alkaline mucus-like fluid. Which helps to neutralize the acidity in the urethra. So this is the function. So it has two functions. First function is neutralize the acidity in urethra. And second function is it also neutralizes the acidity in vaginal tract. So when this semen, this mixture, the complex mixture of all the gland secretions plus sperms, when all of it reaches the vaginal tract, Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know what is happening. But in vagina. So it neutralizes acidity both in the urethra, in the male system. So a question on this could be, which gland's secretion plays an important role both in the male reproductive system and in the female reproductive system? So which will be the gland?
Bulbourethral gland.
Yes. Okay. Now write down. Third point is provides lubrication. Provides lubrication for penis. During sexual intercourse. Okay. This is the third function. So these are the three functions. So after all the glands, let's just summarize semen. So because what is semen and define its composition is a board's question. You can write down. What is semen? Define its composition. So after all the three glands, all the three glands is clear to you? Their secretions, their function, everything is clear?
Yes.
So write down semen. It's also known as seminal fluid. Okay, in short, it's called semen. Write down, it is alkaline, slightly alkaline. It is slightly alkaline. And in terms of share, so first is slightly alkaline. And 60% is secretion of seminal vesicle. So this has also come. Which gland secretions constitutes the major portion of the semen? So 60% of the semen is what is secreted from seminal vesicle. And almost rest 30%, the second major chunk, comes from prostate gland. Makes sense, right? Because these are biggest, 30 to 35 actually. Some books use the upper limit, so let's write it. So what is left? What is left? 5%, right? Around 5% comes from bulbourethral. Is it clear? So this is the composition. And it is all these secretions plus spermatozoa. When you add spermatozoa to this thing, it becomes the complete seminal fluid which enters the female reproductive tract. Okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, there are some questions that have been asked, some facts that you should know. So I'll discuss that with you now. Keep noting this. These are all questions, previous year questions. So question is, in one day, write down, in one day, which means 24 hours, around 300 million sperms are produced. Yes, I'm back for the 8th time now. Anyways, okay, so I was saying that, and this is, remember this number, this is approximately the same number which is present in one ejaculation.
Yes, sir.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So remember this number, 300 million. This is around the same number. Yes, Mamuna.
Yes.
Yes, what? Yes. Yes, what?
Nothing, sir.
What do you say? Yes. I was saying, do you remember this number? Where have you heard it?
Yeah,
Read
for
it
that
before?
question I answered.
Yes. So where have you read this number?
During an ejaculation, 300 million sperms are produced.
Released. So one ejaculation contains around the same number of sperms that are produced in a day. Is it clear?
Yes.
So more than one ejaculation in a day, will we have enough sperms to fertilize the ovum? No, right? There will be less number of sperms than required. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mamuna, am I audible or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think that's yes. Let's stop here for today. It's because we have 2 minutes. We'll not be able to finish anything significant in that. And write down. I'm giving you a homework. Okay. Write down this homework assignment. In next class, we will be starting with the female reproductive tract. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to read female reproductive tract briefly from the book and see if anything in the male reproductive tract is confusing to you or anything you have doubt in, including spermatogenesis, okay, which is the most important part. Everyone will do that. Please come prepared. And yes, tomorrow we will do twins, which we had to do. Do you want me to take twins now or once I finish the female reproductive system? Because after doing both the reproductive systems, we will go into fertilization and embryo formation. So where do you want me to take up with the twins?
After the female.
After, okay. So in the next, we'll start